Great.
Okay, so I'm Cameron Miller, a real estate broker with property.ca, and I'm here with Mayor Kevin Ashe, the mayor of Pickering. And he's I'm really just going to pick his brain about the growth of Pickering and what he expects for the future. So, and what prompted me to get on a call with you was I read a recent quote in an article online by you stating that Pickering will become the largest and most prosperous city in Durham. It's a bold prediction, but can you go deeper on how you think this will happen?
Sure. We are, if you believe the signs, as you enter into our city, just over 100,000. We're actually about 115,000 people in our city, and we're poised to become the largest city in Durham with a population of about 250,000. So we're going to see a large increase in our population over the coming years. We really have 5 areas that are going to dramatically change the landscape. We have our city center project, which is, we have a number of residential buildings already in our GO train Highway 401 corridor. We approved zoning in January with Center Court, which is the redevelopment of the Pickering Town Center, which will include a number of residential buildings, as well as hopefully a hotel, as well as an office building. I want our mall not only to survive, but to thrive. And I think making a people place and bringing people to live and work in our downtown is something that's important. We've approved in the last council a Kingston Road corridor intensification. So that'll go really from White's Road, where Severa Group has a large development application for the old national sports site. And then we go across our city over to Brock Road, and Smart Centers wants to redevelop the Walmart Plaza with residential as well. So that landscape is going to change in our southern part, but the real dramatic change is going to happen in our northern areas of our city. We'll have the completion of the Seton build out, which we're probably 20% there with a potential of 50,000-60,000 people.
Wow.
The government's made an announcement about Cherrywood, which is the better known as the Green Belt lands, which have been decided by the provincial government to take them out. And the plan there is for 30,000 units of housing, 70,000 people, and about 30,000 employment opportunities. And finally, the 5th is the Envision Durham, which is the official plan of the region, which envisioned the urban expansion of our northeast part of our city. And that was approved by regional council and is now down at Queen's Park for the region's official plan to be amended. So I'm excited about the future. Like you, Cameron, I've lived here for a long time, actually 56 of my 61 years. So I went to elementary school here, and it used to be called Sheridan Mall and the TP Drive-In and all those things. So I'm excited about our future.
That sounds very exciting. The growth especially the growth on Kingston Road, that's going to be quite.
Yeah, people want choice in housing, but they also we need housing that's transit supported. So we need we have the Pulse Plus along Highway 2. We have the GO train corridor, which obviously with 15-minute service in rush hour and 20-minute service or half an hour service the rest of the day is a real option for people.
Yeah.
But we need more infrastructure renewal, and the provincial government's indicated a willingness to widen 401 farther than Brock Road, because of pinch points as we drive eastward. And then I'm lobbying the government as well to widen Highway 7 as well, so we have another north or east-west corridor in the north part of our city.
Right. Now that's interesting. From when I was young to now, the population in Pickering has grown so much. Like I remember it was, I don't recall, but I know I remember the sign was like 81,000 or something like that. And like you said, it's now well over 100,000, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I'm not sure if you're aware, Cameron, but I'm the fifth mayor of Pickering, and the first mayor was my father, which was in
Yeah.
1974.
Right.
And when my dad became the mayor of when we went from a township to a town, I think the population was 28,000. So it's dramatically changed over the years. And you know, the northern boundary there wasn't much north of Highway 401 and Highway 2. So
Right.
I'm excited about our future.
So what do you think is attracting people currently to Pickering right now?
Well, I think there's a value proposition that is a good one for Pickering. Our land rates are affordable, as affordable in the context of our competitors are really Peel, York, and Toronto, and our land values are cheaper. Housing, again, is very high. I'm not suggesting it's low, but as a comparator, we have relatively a good value proposition in terms of pricing of homes. We're close to Toronto, and we have a unique community which has a beautiful waterfront, transportation corridors, and then less than 10 minutes north of our 401, we have trails and golf courses and parks and all kinds of things. So I think it's an attractive place. We also have a business community that's doing very well. And you know, we have availability for a lot of people who live in the Durham area that commute westward are looking for opportunities here. So it's a good place for companies to relocate as well.
Yeah, I was just actually going to jump into that because with population growth comes job creation. They kind of go hand in hand. Can you get into the types of jobs that are currently in Pickering, and maybe you can get into the types of jobs that you expect to come into the future?
Yeah, well, when I ran to be married, I said to people, I want to be the jobs mayor because I want people not only to live here and to play here, I want them to work here.
Right.
I think the more jobs we have, it does a couple of things. It's quality of life issues in terms of not commuting every day. It helps us become more of a complete community. From a revenue point of view, we have about 87% of our tax revenue comes from residential, only 13% from commercial and industrial. So I want to balance that a bit better. That's why taxes in Toronto are so low. They have all those big office towers that subsidize it.
Yeah.
But we've been having some success in terms of getting new jobs along what we call the innovation corridor on Highway 7. We have a new head office for Kubota, a new head office for Lastman's Bad Boy, and a groundbreaking last week with Premier Ford and myself with FGF Brands, which will bring about 3,000 new jobs to Pickering. And then, of course, we have the OPG, the large nuclear station that generates 14% of Ontario's power is on our lakeshore. So we have a lot of businesses that support OPG, and the government's looking at the feasibility of extending the life and refurbishing that particular plant and maintaining the job. So we're looking at our traditional industrial, commercial in that southern part, and then we're having new job sources in our innovation corridor along the 407.
Is it what type of companies are in the innovation corridor right now, or coming in the future?
Well, FGF Brands is the former Weston Foods.
Right.
So it was bought by FGF Brands for $1.5 billion. So it's a technology company that bakes all the big names that you would be aware of, Wonder Bread and Starbucks and Walmart and all that stuff. So it's a bakery, but it's high tech. It uses AI and robotics and the like. And then again, we have the distribution center for Bad Boys, as well as their Kubota Canada, which is a Japanese company that's relocated to Pickering with their head office. And then we're having a number of other companies that are looking at the 407 value proposition in the food manufacturing. So that's kind of, there's also talk or discussion about an airport in Pickering as well. So the federal government is doing a study about the capacity of our airport. So council's taken a position opposed to that, but it's really a federal government's decision.
Yeah, I was reading about the airport. It's been in talks for a while now. Do you think like where are they in terms of approval or?
Well, the federal government announced a study earlier this year that will look at the capacity of all the airports in Southern Ontario, from basic Waterloo to our eastern in Oshawa. Recent news of Buttonville closing as well. So I think we can all agree that airports are a job creator and an economic driver. So the government will make that decision if the Pickering will be the site. There's still 5,000 acres that were expropriated back in 1972. They're being held in the airport lands. But again, our council has taken a negative position in regards to that, but it's really a federal government decision.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. The demand for housing in Pickering, it clearly outweighs the supply. Can you talk about the types of housing that will be coming into Pickering in the coming years?
Sure. The government has suggested that there is a housing crisis. I agree. It's pledged to build 1.5 million homes over the next 10 years. We have about 500,000 new Canadians coming to our shores every year, about 300,000 stay in the GTA. We have an additional 500,000 non-permanent residents come here, typically foreign students, who need a different type of accommodation. And those are centered around all of the cities that host post-secondary. The Guelphs, the Londons, the Waterloos, the Kingstons, as well as Toronto, that has a number of post-secondary. So the mix of housing will be vast. Certainly in the Greenbelt Sherwood lands, with 30,000 units, there's going to be a 10% affordability. It's what the goal is. I know in the first phase we're looking at about a higher number than that. About 225 of the first 1,200 are going to be affordable housing. And then we look towards what's happening in our downtown area, where it's condos. And the reality is condos are often the entry into the housing market for a number of people because, it's in the purchase point of, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, which is a lot of money, I grant, but it is often the entry into the marketplace. And it's also the exit from a marketplace where a senior who wants to stay in our community but doesn't want the burden of a large tax bill or the burden of looking after a home might be downsized into a condo. So I think we're going to have a mix. And people still do want the dream of a detached home. And I think there'll be a lot of choices for that as well. But I think, we do have a lot of townhouses and row housing and that, again, from affordability point of view. But we're going to have a complete options in regards to housing.
Nice. Okay. I'd like to steer the conversation towards the transformation of the Pickering Town Center. Lead architect Peter Clues, who has been working on the project for the past 4 years, he called it the most extraordinary initiative in the city's history. Can you give us maybe a little sneak peek of what the redevelopment will look like in the future and what it means for the residents of Pickering?
Sure. Pickering Town Center is directly across from the building I'm in right now, which is our City Hall.
Right.
The first phase of the redevelopment of the Pickering Town Center is some residential facilities, residential residents, but there's also the requirement of the developer to give us park dedication and a parkland dedication. And what they've done is we've taken it, and it's going to be directly across from City Hall. And there's going to be a town square that, you know, will have a water feature. And then in the wintertime, a skating rink similar to Nathan Phillips Square. So there'll be a meeting place, and, you know, we'll be able to have farmers markets and Christmas markets and the like on what's now a parking lot. And if people know the Pickering Town Center, they'll know the old Sears wing has been demolished, and there'll be a number of residential buildings that'll be close to walking to the GO train, literally 5 minutes away. So it's changing the idea of home ownership here in Pickering, because similar to the Toronto experience, you know, they're selling parking spots for about $50,000, and your car is $50,000. And I know a lot of young people who are trying to get in the marketplace won't be spending that $100,000 on cars. They'll be using rental cars or zip cars or Ubers, or using the GO train as their source of transportation. So we're excited about this particular development because it'll bring people to a downtown that we've never really had. And, you know, on the base floors, there'll be cafes and restaurants and services. And then we also have, obviously, the Pickering Town Center, which will hopefully thrive with 5,000 new residents in that area. And from the civic area, we are looking at our Esplanade Park here and doing facilities on the park, where we're going to be building a new public library, a new senior and youth center, as well as a new performing arts center, all facilities on the park. So we're looking at it being a place to live, a place to shop, a place to dine, and a place to visit for all kinds of recreation, community building, as well as hopefully performing arts.
Nice. And how long will that take?
The first phase of this facilities on the park is actually phase 1, which is the civic square across from City Hall.
Yeah.
And we hope to have that open 2 years perhaps, and then you know, it'll be over the course of the next 5 to 7 years, the remaining parts of those 3 buildings that we're looking at for the facility part on the park concept.
That sounds very exciting for Pickering. Just to wrap this up, what are you most excited about for the future of Pickering, whether it's a development or a certain neighborhood that you see that's going to sprawl in the future?
Well, I think a couple of things that I'm very excited about. I'm excited about the job creation, so people can stay and work here. Yeah. I'm excited about the opportunity for entertainment, where we'll have performing arts center. We have the casino, where, you know, we've hosted rock icons, Bryan Adams, Jan Arden. So, you know, people don't have to necessarily go to the Rogers Center to have a nice night out. And then I'm excited about the opportunity for home ownership for a new breed of people that can get into the housing market, be close to a transit corridor, and hopefully develop a downtown that we sorely have lacked over the course of our existence. So I think the future is bright for Pickering, and I'm excited to lead a council that is embracing the concept of change. And I look forward to welcoming a number of new residents to our city. Like I said, I'm really excited about the future.
Nice. Mayor Kevin Ashe, thank you so much for the call. I really appreciate it. Your time is much appreciated, and we'll be in touch for sure. If there's anything else that you wanted to say to end off the call, feel free.
No, I appreciate the opportunity to talk. As you can tell, I'm very happy about my city and proud of my city, and I think it's Pickering's time, and I appreciate the opportunity to share the good things that are happening in our great city. So thank you, Cameron, for this.
No problem. Take care.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.